My dear friend, if you found your way to this video, chances are your back has been trying to tell you something. Maybe it's a subtle ache in the morning as you step out of bed. Or perhaps it's a dull, lingering soreness after sitting too long reading, watching TV, or simply resting. There are days when even bending down to tie your shoes feels like a chore. I understand that feeling not just as a doctor, but as someone who's seen it in hundreds of patients, and even experienced it myself. Back pain doesn't scream, it whispers. It quietly steals our comfort, our ease of movement, and sometimes even our joy in small everyday things. But before we dive into the details, I'd like you to take a slow, deep breath. And believe this, you can make a change. Even if you've passed 60, even if your spine isn't as flexible as it once was, your body is still a wise and responsive system if you learn how to listen and treat it gently. You don't need to be an athlete or spend hours at the gym. Just a few minutes each morning, a quiet space, and some simple movements, many of which can be done right on your bed, are enough to make a real difference. Did you know that according to the Institute of Medicine, over 80% of adults experience back pain at least once in their lives, and this number climbs even higher after age 60? But that doesn't mean you have to live with it. I've walked alongside many older adults, some in their 60s, others well into their 70s, and they've maintained their ability to move, to walk, to garden, to lift their grandkids, all because of one simple habit: mindful, consistent movement. So if today you're willing to give just a few minutes back to yourself, stay with me. I'll walk you through each step gently, clearly, just as I would for someone I care deeply about. Let's begin. Exercise 1. Cat-cow stretch. The silent language of your spine. Before starting any kind of back exercise, I often ask my patients a simple question. Is your back breathing? It may sound odd at first, doesn't it? But the spine especially, your lower back, isn't just a structure that holds you upright. It's also where the most delicate essential movements take place: reaching for a book, tying your shoes, or simply stretching when you wake up. And to do any of these, your back needs to be woken up slowly, gently, like waking someone you love with a whisper. There's one yoga stretch I've trusted for many years, not just because of its effectiveness, but because it feels almost like having a conversation with your spine. It's called the cat-cow stretch. The movement mimics two opposite motions: arching your back like a stretching cat, then lifting your head and lowering your belly like a relaxed cow basking in the sun. I remember a woman named Ellen, 67 years old, widowed, living quietly with her white cat Lily. She didn't come to me because of intense pain, but because, as she put it, something doesn't feel quite right in my back. A few steps made her feel heavy. Sitting down felt like her spine was being tugged backward. When I asked if she'd ever tried yoga or stretching, she laughed. "I just walk around the garden with Lily, doctor." That's about it. We started with cat-cow. No fancy mats, no yoga outfits, just a clean surface, steady hands, and slow breathing. I guided her to kneel, place her hands under her shoulders and her knees under her hips, creating a stable tabletop. As she inhaled, she lowered her belly, lifted her chin, and opened her chest, the cow pose. On the exhale, she arched her back upward like a stretching cat, pulling her chin toward her chest. That's all. But after just 1 week, she called to tell me, "Doctor, I can feel my back breathing." Her words were poetic, but I knew exactly what she meant. She felt lighter. Every morning now, instead of lingering in bed, she kneels beside Lily, and they stretch together. This simple cat-cow motion is like a gentle magic for the spine. According to Harvard Health Publishing, the exercise boosts circulation in the discs between your vertebrae, those sponge-like cushions that compress when we sit too long or move too little. It also helps relieve tightness in the neck, shoulders, and lower back areas that often hold our physical and emotional stress. I recommend doing this movement in the morning, just 1 to 2 minutes, repeating the flow 10 to 15 times with relaxed, steady breaths. You can do it on your bed if kneeling on the floor is difficult. If your wrists are sensitive, lean on your forearms. The goal isn't perfection, it's presence. One question I often hear is, "Doctor, how long will it take for the pain to go away?" I usually respond with a smile. When you begin treating your back with kindness every single day, the pain may not disappear overnight, but something far more important will begin: a gentle reconnection between you and your body. With every breath, every small motion, you begin to understand your spine again, like an old friend you're finally getting to know. So if your back feels heavy today, try the cat-cow stretch. Not to chase the pain away instantly, but to start a quiet conversation. A patient-caring dialogue between you and the part of your body that's carried you for so long. And tomorrow when you wake up, instead of sighing, ugh, my back again, perhaps you'll say something softer. Good morning. Let's breathe a little together. Exercise 2. Pelvic tilt. Stretch. A gentle reminder to your hips. I often tell my older patients, your spine doesn't just hurt for no reason. It's trying to whisper that something deeper within you is out of balance. And one of the most overlooked areas in the body, especially after age 60, is the pelvis. It's the bridge that connects your upper and lower body, the base that supports every step you take, every time you sit, and even every breath you draw. I remember Mr. Charles, a 73-year-old retired railroad engineer. He came in complaining about a constant heaviness in his lower back. He wasn't in sharp pain, he said, just always off. I don't feel sharp pain, doc, he told me, but it's like there's a weight pulling at my back, making everything harder. I didn't rush to prescribe medication. Instead, I asked him to lie down on the exam table, bend his knees, place his feet flat on the floor, and rest his hands on his stomach and lower back. Now imagine gently pressing your lower back into the floor, I said. Don't use your legs. Just tighten your belly slightly and hold for a breath. That's the pelvic tilt, one of the most fundamental movements for retraining the spine. It sounds simple, and it is. But simplicity can be powerful, especially for aging bodies that no longer respond well to strain and overexertion. Pelvic tilt helps realign the pelvis, which often tilts too far forward or backward as we age. That subtle misalignment can put enormous stress on the lower back. A 2017 study published in the Journal of Physical Therapy Science found that regular pelvic tilt exercises significantly improve lower back stability and reduce chronic pain in older adults. Why? Because when your core, your abdominal and pelvic muscles are weak, your spine has to overcompensate. And over time, that effort shows up as stiffness, soreness, and fatigue. I asked Mr. Charles to practice pelvic tilts every morning and evening, just 10 to 15 repetitions. 2 weeks later, he returned standing taller, eyes brighter. It still feels a bit heavy, doc, he said, but now I know how to calm it down. That to me was a victory. Because healing isn't always about eliminating pain. Sometimes it's about regaining the ability to respond to it with confidence instead of fear. I know many older adults carry doubts. I'm already old, is it even worth trying? But I always respond. It's never too late to treat your body with kindness. And the pelvic tilt is one of the most forgiving, effective ways to begin. You can do it lying in bed. You don't need equipment. You don't need someone to assist you. Just you and a willingness to show up for your body, even if only for a few minutes a day. I recommend doing it in the morning to wake up the spine or in the evening to unwind. Inhale gently. Exhale, press your lower back down, engage your belly hold for 5 seconds, and release. Each repetition helps reinforce a strong, steady foundation, like rebuilding the base of a home that's weathered many seasons. And if someday you feel discouraged thinking, I'll never move like I used to remember this, even a classic car can run smoothly if it's cared for properly. Your body doesn't need to be young again, it just needs attention, patience, and love. Pelvic tilt won't perform miracles. But it is an invitation, a quiet, consistent reminder that you are still in control, that you can still nourish your body, that you still belong to yourself. So try it tonight. Lie down, place a pillow under your head, bend your knees, close your eyes, and give your back the gentle guidance it's been waiting for. You just might be surprised at how something so small can begin to shift everything. If you found this video helpful so far, don't forget to hit the like button. It lets me know these gentle exercises are reaching the people who truly need them. And if you'd like to continue this journey with me, exploring more ways to care for your body after 60, go ahead and subscribe to Health Hype Zone so you won't miss the next videos in this series. Now that you've reconnected with your pelvis and begun to wake up your lower back with the pelvic tilt, let's take one step further. In the next part, I'll introduce a movement that strengthens your glutes and stabilizes your spine. No gym needed, no heavy lifting, just your breath, your body, and the floor beneath you. Let's move on to the next exercise. Knee to chest. Exercise 3. Knee to chest stretch. a gentle embrace for your lower back. There are days when simply rolling out of bed can bring on a sigh, not from sleepiness, but from that dull, persistent ache in your lower back. It's not always sharp, it doesn't scream, but it's there, lingering. And over time, it begins to wear you down one step at a time. Many of my older patients tell me, "Doctor, I don't even know why it hurts anymore. Maybe from sitting too long or sleeping wrong or just getting old." And I often smile gently and ask, "Have you ever tried hugging your back?" It might sound strange, but that's exactly what the knee to chest stretch is, a quiet, healing embrace for a part of your body that has carried so much for so long. Let me tell you about Martha, 69 years old, a retired preschool teacher living with her husband and two little dogs. She came to see me not because of any dramatic injury, but because her back felt tired all the time. Every morning, she described waking up stiff as a board, needing 10 minutes just to stand up straight. Her lower back and hips had become tight and uncooperative, the result of years of sitting, minimal stretching, and the natural changes that come with aging. I introduced her to the knee to chest stretch right there in the clinic. No special gear, no hard poses. Just lying flat on her back, gently bending one knee toward her chest and holding it with both hands for 20 to 30 seconds. Then switching sides. When she felt ready, she could hug both knees at once, like giving her own body a soft, reassuring squeeze. We practiced with slow breathing. Imagine every breath as a loving message to your back, I told her. The results came quickly. After just 2 weeks, Martha told me she no longer needed to grab the nightstand for support getting out of bed. "I still feel stiffness," she admitted, "but now I know how to loosen it, how to take care of it." And to me, that's the most important kind of healing, the kind that gives you back a sense of agency and self-trust. From a scientific standpoint, the knee to chest stretch helps lengthen the lower back muscles, relax the hips, and increase blood flow to the spine. According to the American Academy of Orthopedic Surgeons, gentle stretches like this one are proven to reduce tension in the lumbar region and improve flexibility, especially for those over 60. I often suggest doing this stretch right when you wake up or before going to bed. Think of it as a good morning or a thank you to your spine. If pulling your knee fully to your chest feels difficult, you can wrap a towel behind your thigh for support. The point isn't to push your limits, it's to simply show up for your body exactly where it is. Many people ask, "Doctor, can such a small stretch help?" And I usually reply with another question. When was the last time you gave your back 30 seconds of focused attention? Sometimes what eases the pain isn't a powerful workout or fancy therapy. It's presence. It's slowing down enough to listen. So tonight, if your back is feeling heavy, and your spirit too, I invite you to lie down. Pull one knee gently toward your chest, hold, and breathe. Then the other. And maybe if it feels right, both knees at once. Let this be your moment of stillness, your reminder that healing doesn't always look like action. Sometimes it looks like a quiet pause, a breath, a soft embrace. The knee to chest stretch asks for very little, but it gives you something deeply valuable in return, a sense of lightness. A sense that you are still capable of caring for yourself with kindness and intention. And tomorrow morning, instead of rushing out of bed, take a moment to hug your knees and whisper inwardly, "Back, thank you." Let's move through today a little more gently. Exercise 4. Child's Pose Stretch. Resting on purpose. There's something I've often noticed among my older patients: they rarely allow themselves to rest. Even when their bodies are tired, when their backs are aching and knees are stiff, they still push forward, caring for others, staying busy, trying not to appear like they need help. And over time, that quiet strain becomes a hidden weight pressing into their spine, especially the lower back, the place that carries not just our bodies, but our stress and silence too. I'd like to tell you about Ruth, 71 years old, a retired nurse. She spent her whole life caring for others, always putting herself last. But when her back began to ache every afternoon, she hesitated to seek help. "I still have my husband to look after," she said, "and my grandchildren. I just don't have time to rest." I didn't push back. I simply smiled and laid out a mat on the floor. "Today," I said, "we're going to learn how to rest on purpose." I introduced her to a very simple but profound movement, child's pose. In yoga, it's a resting position that mimics the natural curl of a sleeping child. You kneel on the floor, sit back on your heels, then gently fold forward, stretching your arms out in front and resting your forehead on the ground. If you've ever seen a child curled up in peace, you already know the feeling this pose brings: safety, calm, and quiet surrender. At first, Ruth was hesitant. "It's been years since I've bent down like this," she admitted. But once she settled into the pose, breathing slowly and steadily, I saw her shoulders begin to drop. The tension melted. The weight she had carried for so long began to soften, not just in her back, but in her expression. Child's pose isn't just a stretch, it's a return. It gives your spine a break, especially in the lower back and hips, while calming the nervous system. According to the Cleveland Clinic, this pose helps reduce tension, slow the heart rate, and even lower blood pressure, making it perfect for winding down in the evening or calming the body before sleep. And best of all, anyone can do it. If your knees are sensitive, you can place a pillow between your thighs and calves. If you can't bend fully, prop your torso on a cushion or your arms. You don't need to go deep, you only need to go gently. After her first time trying it, Ruth sat back up, her eyes misty, then smiled and said, "I feel like I was just held without anyone saying a word." I nodded. I knew what she meant. Sometimes our back doesn't just hurt from physical strain. Sometimes it hurts from never being allowed to rest. I encouraged her to practice child's pose each evening, just for 2 or 3 minutes. After a month, she returned to my office, standing taller, walking steadier. But what I noticed most wasn't in her posture, it was in her eyes. There was ease, softness, the look of someone who had finally permitted herself to slow down. If your back feels heavy and your heart feels tired, I invite you to try this tonight. Lay out a soft mat or towel. Kneel slowly and fold forward. Let your hands reach ahead. Let your breath slow. Let your thoughts settle. In that quiet space, without effort or expectation, your body will begin to heal, not just the muscles, but the part of you that's been carrying too much for too long. Child's pose doesn't require strength. It simply asks for trust that you're allowed to rest, to soften, to just be. And if you can offer yourself even 2 minutes of that quiet care each day, it may be the beginning of a healing far deeper than any medicine can offer. Exercise 5: Bird Dog Stretch. When balance begins with the small things. Have you ever felt off balance? Not just physically, like when you step out of bed and feel unsteady, but in a deeper sense, as if your body no longer moves in sync the way it used to. You lift your arm and feel it in your shoulder. You bend down and your leg trembles. It's not necessarily about age, it's your body's quiet way of saying, "We've lost connection." One of the most effective exercises I use to help patients rebuild that connection is the bird dog stretch. It's a simple movement, yet surprisingly powerful. It teaches your body to move as a whole again, with control, coordination, and purpose. Let me tell you about Raymond, a 75-year-old former firefighter. He came to see me after a minor fall in his kitchen. Nothing serious. No broken bones, but he had lost something important: confidence. "Doc," he said, "I feel weaker than I used to. My arms shake. My legs don't feel steady." I knew he hadn't lost strength. What he had lost was core stability. I laid out a mat and showed him the bird dog. "Nothing intense," I told him with a smile. "We're just going to be on hands and knees and slowly lift opposite limbs, right arm, left leg. Hold, then switch." It sounded easy, but the first few tries were wobbly. He reached forward and his knee wanted to follow. His back tensed, his breath quickened. But little by little, he found his balance. And more importantly, he found trust in his body again. The bird dog starts on all fours: hands under shoulders, knees under hips, spine neutral. Then gently you extend your right arm forward and your left leg back. Hold for 5 to 10 seconds. Return. Then switch sides. As you move your core, the deep muscles in your belly, back, and hips work quietly to keep you stable. According to the American Council on Exercise, bird dog improves spinal alignment, posture, and neuromuscular coordination, all essential for preventing falls in older adults. And best of all, you don't need equipment. You don't even need to stand, just a soft floor and a few minutes of focused attention. I recommend starting with 10, 15 repetitions per side once a day. If your knees are sensitive, use a pillow or folded towel. If it's hard to balance, you can start by just lifting one limb at a time, arm only or leg only, until you build confidence. 3 weeks later, Raymond came back smiling. "I changed a light bulb yesterday without wobbling. I didn't even think twice. That's when I knew it wasn't just his muscles getting stronger, his sense of self had grown too. That's the hidden gift of Bird Dog. It's not just about movement, it's about reminding you that your body can still work together, that you can still move with strength and control, even if it's been a while. So today, if you're feeling a little unsteady, not just in body, but in spirit, I invite you to kneel, place your hands firmly on the ground, and breathe. Slowly reach forward, gently stretch back, and know that with every movement you are reconnecting not just with your muscles, but with the quiet power you've always carried within. Balance isn't something we lose forever. It's something we can rebuild slowly, gently, with each breath, each stretch, and each moment we choose to trust ourselves again. Dear friend, if you've made it this far with me, then you've already taken the most important step. The decision to care for your body, not with pressure or perfection, but with patience, kindness, and presence. The exercises I've shared from cat-cow to pelvic tilt, knee to chest, child's pose, and bird dog aren't just physical routines. They are invitations to return to your body, to breathe with it, to move with it, to listen to the parts of yourself that may have been ignored, pushed through, or silenced over the years. And yes, I know after 60 we're told it's too late to start again, but I don't believe that. I've seen with my own eyes how powerful even the gentlest efforts can be. I've watched men and women in their 70s regain confidence. I've seen stiff backs become fluid again. I've seen eyes light up not because the pain was gone entirely, but because hope had returned. One of my patients once told me, "Doctor, I used to exercise to be strong. Now I move so I can keep being here for my grandkids, my garden, my life." And I believe that's what these stretches offer you, not just relief, but freedom. Freedom to move without fear, freedom to enjoy the quiet moments, freedom to live, not just exist in the body you have today. So whether you do just one of these exercises or all of them, whether you hold for 5 seconds or 30, know this: you're doing something good for yourself. You're sending a message to your body. I haven't given up on you. I'm here. Let's heal together. If you found value in this video, I invite you to click the like button. It helps others like you find their way here. And if you'd like to continue learning gentle, effective ways to care for your health after 60, subscribe to the Health Hype Zone channel. This is a space made just for you. I'd also love to hear your story. How did these exercises feel for you? Do you have a question or experience to share? Leave a comment below. I read them all, and I'm here to walk this journey with you. At Health Hype Zone, our goal is simple: to remind you that healing is always possible, that movement can be gentle and powerful, and that this body of yours, even now, is still capable of beautiful things. You don't have to go fast, you just have to begin.